Welcome to episode 14 of Get a Clue, Casual Gamer. And today I am going to introduce you to a game that is kind of my nod to the fact that October 31st is coming, and though many in the world only think of it as Halloween, it is also Reformation Day, which is a big deal in the Christian church. And because of that, I don't have anything about Luther or whatever, which is the Reformation. But I figured I would share with you this game called Biblios, Quill and Parchment. Biblios, Quill and Parchment. And in it, we'll discuss a little bit as to help you get a clue. C for components. What are you going to find inside this box? L for length. How long is this game going to take? U for uniqueness. Is it something similar to something else I've played or not? And E for ease. How easy is it to learn, teach, play? How easy is it to find? And how easy is it on your pocketbook? So, excuse me. Oh my goodness. I just ate an apple and I think it's kind of like, okay, cleanse the throat. Okay, so Biblios. There is a game called Biblios, which is cards and such. This is Biblios, Quill and Parchment, which is their way of saying flipping right or rolling right. And so technically this game is a roll and write game. And to prove that, let's look at the components. First of all, we have a main board, which is a wipe-off board that is for all players. And this is 1 to 4 players, okay? We have a main board. And then each of the up to 4 players will have their own board. This is side A. Each board has a side A and a side B. And I see that this one has not been fully erased. There are still some marks on it. It's okay. I'll erase it before we're done. And of course, if you have write-on boards, then you're going to need wipe-off markers so that you can use those. But it is a roll and write. So we have 12 of these wooden dice. We have 8 of these white wooden die and 1 of these die. Then we have 5 of these wooden dice and 4 of these wooden dice. They're all wooden dice. And then we have the rule book or the instruction book, whichever they call it. And that is what you will find inside that box. So it's not a very complicated thing. Actually, most roll and writes are not overly complicated. There are a few that are quite so, but most of them are not very complicated. They don't have a lot of pieces. They don't have a lot. This actually is one, excuse me, that has more pieces than usual because it has all these dice, okay? All these dice. And it's a really cool game. Again, 1 to 4 players, which means you can play it solo, which I have done quite a few times. I have played it with others, but I have also played it solo. And I like it because it is easy to play. So that's C, components. Length of play. The manufacturer says 40 minutes, and it pretty much is 40 minutes. In I mean, if I'm playing solo, then no, it won't take 40 minutes because I know how to play it, and I'll just play it and be done probably in 30 minutes, 20, 30 minutes. But yeah, I can see it taking 40 minutes with 4 people playing. definitely. But really, it's only 8 rounds long. There are only 8 rounds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 rounds. Once you're done with those 8 rounds, you're done with the game. So it's not a very long game, but there's enough in it to give you something to do during this time. Okay, so that is the length of time. Uniqueness. Well, it's a roll and write. So just like the grandfather of roll and writes, Yahtzee, you roll dice and you write something down. You roll dice, you write something down. My goodness, I have this frog in my throat. Anyway, I'm going to try and ignore it and talk fast. So uniqueness, it's a roll and write. When it comes to the placement, the game itself, you have a lot of different ways to score points. You can score points from here, from here, from here, and from here. So there are different ways of getting points, and of course to win you want the most points. So any game where you want the most points, this is it. Any game that is a roll and write, this is similar to, including the grandfather of roll and writes, Yahtzee. So, you roll the dice, you roll a combination of dice, you can re-roll dice, which is similar to Yahtzee. So let's just go with mass market Yahtzee as a good example. Then we get to ease. How easy is it to learn, teach, play? How easy is it to find, and how easy is it on your pocketbook? Well, to learn, teach, play. Okay. The front shows you the components, which I've already showed you. Okay. And then they have an introduction and an explanation of everything that you might find on the dice. And then an explanation of each of these boards, just so that you understand what's there, and they'll point to it and explain what it is. And then they go into period 1. There are 2 periods in the game. Period 1 is rounds 1, 2, 3, and 4, and period 2 is rounds 5, 6, 7, 8, and then you score. So period 1 is explained with pictures, and then period 2 setup and period 2 explained, the game end, how to score, and then if you only have 2 players, how to do what's a little bit different in the period 1 and period 2 if you only have 2 players, and then if it's solo person, what's different if you're playing on your own. And then game end, variance, all of that is side A. And then he says, well, if you want to play side B, there's a little bit of difference, which is really only this section. That's the only difference on side B. So everything on side A and B, and then a summary. So once you have it down, just keep it on the back, and this will walk you through the whole game, okay? Which is nice to have. I wish they had something like this for each person. You could make a copy of it, and that way everyone has one at their place, and they can make sure that they're doing the next step. But it's not necessary, but it would be nice. I wish they had something like this for each person, but that is the game. It's a little bit more, well, if I'm comparing it to Yahtzee, Yahtzee is pretty straightforward in that you're just looking at numbers and writing down the best combination that you can come up with after your 3 throws. With this, there are so many different ways of gaining points. So you can really center more on one aspect and a little less on the other, but you always have that choice. So you have more choice. You have more choice in this game than you would in a game of Yahtzee, which actually I prefer, because I know you always get to a point in Yahtzee where there's no, you're like, I'm going to have to take a 0 because there's nothing I can do here. I've used up all of the 4s and the 3 of a kinds and 4, and I have nothing I can do, so I'll have to take a 0 for the long straight or whatever. But in this game, there's always something you can do to get a little bit ahead. There's always something you can do, okay? So I like that. And that makes it a little bit more complicated than Yahtzee, because you have this aspect, this aspect, this aspect, and this aspect. So there are 4 different areas that you can be gaining points from. So I prefer it, but it makes it a little bit more complicated. So ease of play and teaching, it really is not a difficult game. Because there's so many different things on this board, people look at it and go, I'm not sure about that. I don't think I can remember all of that. Just walk through it, and after a couple rounds, you're like, oh, yeah, okay, I got this. I got it, okay. So really, it's not that difficult, but it is a little bit more than Yahtzee, okay? Ease to find. Well, Biblios, Quill and Parchment came out this year in 2021, so it is a new game. It was pretty popular as well, so not everybody has it. The funny thing is that I checked online, and Target online does not have it, but Walmart online does. And of course, Amazon online, that online store that begins with an A, does have it. So it is available, and I am sure that your friendly local game store would probably have 1 or 2 copies of it. Now, they don't try and keep 20 copies of it, but unless people know what they're looking for, and that's why this video is for you, so that you know what you're looking for, and you can go in and say, I'm looking for Biblios, Quill and Parchment. Do you have it? Or where can I find it? But you can order it online. Just saying. Now, how is it on your pocketbook? Well, Walmart, the price is just under $21, but it's almost $5 for shipping. And online, the other online store, it's $25. And if you're a Prime member, it's free shipping. So, it'd be, if you're going to have to pay shipping, it might be cheaper from one store. If you are a Prime member, it might be cheaper from the other store. And there would be no shipping if you go to the actual brick and mortar store, game store in your area. So, ease to find and easy on the pocketbook. There you have it. It's available right now, today. You can get it. Now, I'm going to go with the $25, because with shipping from Walmart, it'll be over that, a little bit over that anyway, $26, $27. That's actually a pretty good price for all that you're getting. You remember, you're getting all the boards that you need for up to 4 people to play. Plus, you can play it solo, you can play it with 2 people, you can play it with 3 people. You get the markers to go with it, and then you get all of these cool dice. They are well done. They are wooden, nice thick wooden dice, about 1/2 inch These are about a ½ inch. These are maybe a little bit, or are they the same size? They're the same size. It's the little these are bigger. The ones that have the pips on them are bigger, and the rest are about the same. Yeah, no, the black ones are a little bit smaller than the others. So the big ones are a little bit bigger, the small ones are a little bit smaller, and all of these are about the same size. So, but you're getting all of that and a really cool game for about $25. So that's up to you. I mean, you could spend that on a Monopoly that will probably bore you after a few plays. This one is different, yet not so different as other roll and writes, as Yahtzee. So if you're looking for something that takes up very little space, this is the size of the box. Okay, so it's not a huge box, not a huge presence. If you have what's called a dice tray, or you can even use the top as a dice tray. You could toss the dice in there, so you could actually do it in a very small area. You don't have to take up a lot of space like some games do. It can take up this much space, and each person with their little board, and you're ready. So there you have it. Get a clue about Biblios, Quill, and Parchment. I hope this helped you, and if you like it, there are videos on reviews on how to play it. They're all out there. It was a popular game and people like it. So I'm not the only one. So I hope you enjoyed this. Have a wonderful week. You can play it now. Play it on Sunday the 31st, Reformation Day. And God bless you and happy gaming. Bye.